melt is when I'm ocean waves.
Tonight on Nova Legends podcast, I have Coach Mac from Forest Park. His team just qualified for the state quarterfinals on this for this Friday. And Coach Mac just made the long trip down to watch Oscar Smith win their regional final, and so he has to go back, take his team with him, and play Oscar Smith in the states this weekend. Coach, congratulations and thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh, of course. So Coach, this is the first time we met. When did you start playing basketball, and how'd you get into coaching?
Well, I started playing basketball in middle school. Went to middle school in Woodbridge, and I played high school basketball at Garfield High School. But college-wise, football was my track, and I played football at Elon University in North Carolina. And then when I came back to the area, I just got into coaching football at Forest Park. And then Brian Kamenjar, who was the head coach at Forest Park, needed a freshman coach. And I said, okay, I'll do it. So I decided I'd do it. And I enjoyed coaching freshmen, then moved on to JV, then became a varsity assistant, then eventually got the varsity job.
And you also know my friend Mark Malisham too, is that correct?
Yes, Mark Malisham, Coach Malisham. He got the job about, I forget the year, but he coached at Forest Park for 5 years. Okay. And I was great working with him. I enjoyed working with him, learned a lot working with him. So then eventually when he decided to step away from basketball, I eventually got the job. But it was really fun working with Coach Malisham. I just saw him probably a week ago, and he lost a lot of weight. And I couldn't recognize him. I was like, dang, that's Coach Malisham. But it was nice meeting them.
I've only known him skinny. He was a smooth point guard, nice crossover, great jump shot.
Yes.
Mayfield, probably class 87. He was behind me a few years, but he was a very good player. I believe he took his team to the state tournament himself as a player.
Yes, very good player.
Yeah. Coach, what year at Garfield were you?
Oh, really? Yes.
No. What year at Garfield? I
graduated in 97.
Okay, 97. You played for a coach, a guy from Roanoke, the coach from Roanoke. What was his name? Was he there for many years?
Coach Gregg.
Yes.
Andy Gregg.
Yeah, nice guy.
Andy Gregg.
Yeah.
Yes, great guy.
What'd you learn from Coach Gregg?
Learned a lot of things. Coach Gregg taught me basketball. He, as a young coach coming into his first year coaching, he taught a lot of us about basketball. Talk about playing defense, help side defense, man-to-man defense. Just taught those basic, simple plays that get quick hitters. Taught me motion offense. We ran motion with 2 bigs back when he coached, and then right now I run motion with 1 big. But learned a lot of basketball working with Coach Gray and then him coaching us over the years.
Yeah, well, Coach Gray was at Garfield. There was only 3 schools in the eastern part of the county. So those matchups were epic when Garfield, Potomac, and Woodbridge. And all 3 of them had really good teams at times. And then eventually they built Hilton and other schools. Yeah. When it was just 3 schools, those matchups were epic. All of them were epic.
Yeah. Yes, those matchups were great. Like our rivalry was Woodbridge. That was a big matchup. But that's when Potomac, when I was coming up, I think my sophomore year, Potomac started to run and win their first state championship with Erskine Fox and Tarnell and all of them, and they was a great team. We played them, I think, Garfield, and Coach Gray had to get us to buy into just being able to hold the ball and try to keep the game close. We did for a half, but the second half, the Potomac pressure got to us. But those were some great times playing against those teams.
It's hard to play tempo against a team that plays great defense. I mean,
yes, it is.
It's really hard. Sometimes you just got to settle for the best shot that you can get, and then you have to make your shot, and then you hope for the best. So,
yes. You're exactly right.
Yeah. So, Coach, tell me about your team. I know you have a big time prospect, sophomore big guy. I've heard quite a bit about, but tell me about your team.
Well, my team's a little bit different. Now you got to understand, going into the summer, we had a different group of kids that year, and we had a successful summer. We played in the Flint Hill League, played very well. We went to Philadelphia Live and played really successful there. played against a very good private team and competed. Then about the week before tryouts happened, we had 2 kids on our team decided the parents decided they want to make a decision to move on to a private school, and which is fine.
Is that Highland?
Not Highland. It was Rock Creek Christian. So they decided to move on to private, and there's 2 starters. So as a coaching staff, we had to get the kids together that we knew that were going to be with us, and we told them, we said, we're going to coach you guys up, and we're going to coach you guys up as best your ability. We still feel we can we can compete in the district, and we can win in the district championship, and we can compete in our region. So that's what we did, and we had Brandon Adosi as our main focal point, is our big guy in the post. We also have Ethan Salvateria, who is a point guard for us. And he stepped in the role of being a point guard very well. And a senior, Winston Rayford, who last year was a starter for us, but then at the end of the season wasn't starting. But he just stuck to it. He just said, I'm going to work, I'm going to get better, and met his goals and became a second leading scorer for us this year. We also have some other pieces like Roman Hendricks, who plays a forward for us. When he's playing well, we're very successful. He's a junior. We have JMP, Jenny McClendon Parker, who plays the off guard, the 2 guard. Very athletic. I think one of the best defensive players in the area, because we match him up with the best scorer guard on the other team. So those pieces are work around Brandon, and be able to play inside out with them. Winston's a very good shooter. Ethan's a very good passer and also a good finisher around the basket and a good shooter himself. And JP's a good finisher. And Roman acts the extra thing of being able to score from 3-point line, pull up jump shot, and inside too. So that gives some good pieces for us. And we got good senior leadership coming off the bench with Azan Hashik and Andrew Perry, who's a junior. So that gives some good pieces to be very successful.
Yeah. You said we a few times. Who are some of your assistant coaches that are helping you this year?
I have like every coach thing. I really think my assistant coaches are great. I think I have the best coaches in the area. Kelvin Pollard, who's my head assistant, who works with me. We and him played high school basketball at Garfield together. So he's been with me from day one since I got the head job for 9 years. So going into our 9th season. So he works with the guards, work with the ball handling, finishing, and always works with me on different plays, on different options, on what to build to help us our offense. We had Ryan Hunt, who came with us just when COVID hit. When we were going to that COVID season, he added on to the staff, and he has been added so much to the staff when he came on. He's our strength and conditioning guy, get the kids lifted and stronger. He helps us out on the defensive end on the team. My JV coach, Noah Hartung, he's been with me since I got the job, came in. He works in the building. So he's a person that works with the JV group. And also he's a young coach. He's about 36, 37. So he'd be able to practice with the kids and help us at practice and do that stuff. And stuff that I'm an older coach, I can't do no more. So he helps us with all those things at practice. We have Coach Pitts, who's my freshman coach and does a great job with the freshmen. Also puts in time with the varsity, helping us do stats on the bench, helping us with any type of things that he's out the outside, but anything he sees that we maybe need to work on, anything he sees that is working good at practice that we may need to deal with, and also deals with the kids on a level of just talking to the kids and understanding how they feel, what's going on, how's your day going, not other than basketball, but just other things in school and in life that's going on with them.
Yeah. Well, by the way, Coach, you're a young coach. Just to let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, a 43, 44-year-old man is a very young coach to me. So tell us a little bit about your district. Is it the Commonwealth District, or what do they call that district now?
Cardinal District.
Yeah. Tell us about the Cardinal. I know, I read the Facebook group, so I know there's a little rivalry between the Cedar and the Cardinal. They thought the Western part, Coach Rivers talks a lot of junk. We heard about the Western part was so strong, of Prince William County was so strong all year. But it looked like your district was very competitive. It was pretty much even, and you guys kind of pulled ahead very late in the year.
Yes, our district is the Cardinal District. It's always been competitive over the years. In the past years, Potomac has dominated our district. They've won our district championship, I think, about 3 or 4 years in a row. I think Woodbridge was able to pull it out last year. And then this year, we were able to pull out our district regular season champion. But in the preseason and the off season and going into the season, everyone thought Potomac was going to win the district, and then Potomac was a very good team. Colgan was a team that's also coming up, has some young talent. Freedom is also a team that has some young talent that's coming up. So our district was very competitive this year. But I think we handled ourselves in the district. We played Potomac 3 times, and we were able to beat them 3 times. That's Freedom, we played them 3 times. We won 2 throughout the season and the district tournament. So it was a competitive district. It's always good to have talent. It's going to be competitive next year because a lot of teams have a lot of kids coming back. Potomac has 2 or 3 kids coming back. Freedom has their main scorers coming back. Colgan has their main players coming back. The sophomore coming back. So I think in the next couple of years, Cardinal District is going to be one of the top districts in the area. And like Sherman and the Patriot and the Commonwealth District, they are the top heavy. But overall, district-wise, I think our district is probably the most competitive district in Prince William County.
Yeah. Well, look, congratulations. You won the district. It's quite an achievement for you. And then, it was, so I went to a lot of the, not a lot of the games, but I saw Battlefield play a lot. I really enjoyed the Battlefield Patriot rivalry. And, everyone was expecting them to meet again, in the regional final. And Freedom knocked them out in a tremendous game. I watched online. Were you surprised?
Yeah.
Were you surprised Freedom was able to beat Battlefield?
I was a little bit surprised. I thought Battlefield would pull it out. It was funny. We finished playing. I think we played Gainesville. We pulled a close one out of Gainesville, and then we sat in the office and we said the Freedom game is going on still with Battlefield. It's going to overtime, and we ran to the classroom to watch it. And our parents were still in the classroom in the hallway, and basically we were in the classroom. Parents were in the classroom, players were in the classroom. We were watching that game. It was a great game between Freedom. I was surprised that Freedom pulled it out, but Freedom has some talented players that can score. Yeah. They have some kids that can score baskets, and a given night they can beat anybody. And that night it was a tough game between both sides, and Freedom ended up pulling it out.
Yeah, Freedom has players that can draw contact in the lane and makes it really tough for them to guard late in the game when kids are in foul trouble or you're in a one-on-one. Mm-hmm. It makes those possessions are tough against Freedom, and they kept getting to the line. It was a great game, and Randall Bills is a great guy. Because he's had a good run with those kids, and and Michael Harris is also a guy that I used to referee back in the old days when I was a young referee. But So anyway, so the next game you played Freedom and you beat them pretty easily. Tell us about that game.
Well, with Freedom, we played them the first game during the season, and we were able to handle them the first game. They had some players missing, obviously, the first game. Then we played them the second game. Then we had some players missing. We had some players deal with flu and stuff and weren't able to play. Then the third game was the matchup where we have our players, they have their players. And I think our kids were ready to play them, and they wanted to play Freedom because they felt we got them lucky next time they got us. So it was a third matchup, and we did a very good job keeping the guards out the paint, building a wall, trying to not let them get to the free throw line as much. They got to free throw line a lot, but not as much as possible. And we did a good job offensively. We kept on attacking the basket, and when we were up, I told the kids, we're not holding the ball. We got to keep scoring because they can put up points. So, and that's what our kids did. So, and then it was a great game by Brandon. A great game by JMP, and we were able to pull that game out.
Yeah, it's a big win for you. I think people were surprised at the margin. It was a big number. So and then you get to a final against a very seasoned Patriot team. I say that. I mean, they do have some young players, but they've had a very tough schedule this year. So playing Patriot is not an easy task. So tell us about the final.
Yeah, playing pitcher is not an easy task, and you give it up to Sherman. I've known Sherman for years. We played against each other in high school. He used to come to Forest Park. We play in the gym. We always talk all the time, so I know Sherman. He's done a great job over there at Patriot, and yeah, it's not an easy task playing them. We just as a young group or kids, that moment was a little bit big for us. But we just felt if we would have made a couple of shots here or there, not force a couple of things, it could have been a better game. And one of our goals is we want to get back and try to play Patriot again. So if maybe we play them in the state semis. Yeah, it was a great game. They had their guards were in foul trouble. Our big guy got in foul trouble in the third quarter. And usually when we sit him out and have to sit him out long stretches, it's hard for us to score points that was a tough stretch for us in the third quarter. But we did have a shot where I think it was one of our guys had a three to bring it within 3 points, but it rimmed out. But it could change the game, but it didn't change the game. But we just have to make sure we come back, and if we're able to play them again, if we can beat Oscar Smith, then we'll try and play a little bit better, run a better offense, and control the offense, the tempo a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Oscar Smith. Yeah, you got to see him in the flesh yesterday. You were up close. So what did you think? What are the keys to Oscar Smith?
Oscar Smith is a talented player. They have some very good guards. They have two big kids that are pretty talented, and that's going to be a good test for Brandon. To be honest with you, as a coach, I look at Oscar Smith and look at us, and we match up pretty well with each other. They have guards that can score at all three levels. They have a guard that can score at the 3-point line, at the pull-up jump shot, and the layups. So we got to make sure we contain them. The big guys very strong in the middle, but we also think Brandon can be very effective versus them. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup. They do change up their defenses a little bit to press and change tempo. We got to be able to handle their press if they press us. Most teams have played them in zone, so we'll see. If we may throw some zone at them, but we'll see how things go. But I think it's a very good matchup, and we're excited to be able to go down there and play.
Yeah. Well, Coach, what time are you guys going down on Friday?
We have not found out the time we're playing them.
Okay.
But we'll probably be leaving school by 12 o'clock, okay, or probably sooner. Hearing from other coaches and hearing from, it's good to go down there early, yeah, so you can see the area, enjoy the area, maybe find a place you can shoot around. And so that's our goal right now. We're trying to go down there early, and maybe we can find a place to shoot around and get some shots up then before we can get ready for the game. Also sit down and eat and let the kids enjoy the moment that they're in. And right now, not many kids get to travel on a charter bus and travel down, go to Virginia Beach and play. So I think it's an exciting moment for our kids.
It is. As ridiculous as the structure is of our state tournament, like the Northern Virginia teams, they're all playing each other in the state tournament. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I admire the fact that your kids will get an experience of a lifetime to do that. Certainly wish you luck. As a parent of a travel soccer player, we made that trip. We made that trip many times to there for one game. So I think you're right. Get there early, get the kids settle, get their legs about them, kind of enjoy themselves, and start thinking about big game. And if you're only 2 games from a state final, so and you never know. Right. You never know how many times in life you're going to get back. So
yeah, you're right. You never know how many times you're going to go back. So that's why we made the trip down there to go watch him play. And it was actually very good to see him in person play rather than just watch film, and also see both teams, Lansdowne and Oscar Smith. And also, they do it. I'll be honest, they do it right in their region because they played in an arena. It was a nice arena. You could space out. You could sit anywhere and watch the game. It was a good atmosphere. You could tell for high school basketball down there in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, I mean, it's not complicated. With tournaments, that's how you're supposed to house tournaments. Yes. in the northern region, in the Occoquan region, the 4 games, they have 2 boys and 2 girls games. They're all at the same time. I mean, so they're all at 7. I mean, I don't know who thinks of this stuff. You could have the girls play one night. You can have the boys play the next night. You can have 7 and 9, and everyone could watch all 4 games. This is supposed to be, a thrill of a lifetime for these kids. And like me, I got to choose what game I'm going to watch. And I like to watch all of them. So
yeah, it's so crazy. Like they did it so right. Like they played the 5A girls, then they played the 5A, 6A boys. Then they played 5A girls. Then they played the 6A girls. Then they played the 6A boys. Then they played the 5A boys in one location over there. And that you could sit there and watch games all day. And I've been to back in the day when we used to go to Liberty, when we used to go to VCU and watch all those games. Those were the great times back then. And I don't understand why they didn't do it. And then, you got Robinson High School can host like a whole bunch of games.
Of course. And then in the old days of Liberty, you'd watch them on Friday, and then you watch the winners play again on Saturday. So you got a chance to get kind of attached to the teams. I don't know what these people are thinking, but they have no idea how to create a brand of high school basketball that neutrals want to watch. I mean, the supporters are always going to be there. So if Forest Park is in the state tournament, of course, the kids and the parents are going to come. But what you try to do is you try to get neutrals to come and be interested in the game.
In watching the games. Yes.
Yeah, and they make you choose, and it's so frustrating for me, a fan of the game. But anyway, I've been complaining about it for years, and I'm going to keep complaining about it until they change it back. So
yes, keep complaining about it because they need to change it back because it was a great atmosphere. I remember going down to Liberty and watching J.J. Redick play, then watching some other schools play at the end. So those were some great times and great basketball player.
J.J. Redick shot Hayfield out of the gym that night.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. So, Coach, look, it's great meeting you. Thanks for doing this. I wish you best of luck. Maybe get by Oscar Smith. Maybe we can touch base again next week as well. Yes, hopefully we'll get by Oscar Smith. We can touch base. But yeah, one game at a time, right? Yeah. Yes. Hey, safe travels and good luck, Coach. No problem. Thank you for having me. Oh, of course, anytime, man. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.